Hi, everybody. My name is John, and I'm here with Design Theory, and I'm joined with Rhett from PalmettoSoft. Rhett, nice to have you with me, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Nice to be here.
Fantastic, man. Listen, I wanted to set this up so we can kind of talk a little bit about what you do, your business, and who your ideal customers are, so they get a really good understanding about the services and products that you offer. So, Rhett's been with started PalmettoSoft several years ago, and I think there's a lot of customers that you've done some awesome work with, and the whole point of doing video these days is to make sure that we can kind of get that information more out there to other people as well. And so I want to take a minute, talk to you, tell me about who your ideal customers are, and let's kind of work our way into there.
Yeah, thanks. We were started in 2005, so we just passed our 15-year anniversary.
Nice.
Very, very happy about that. And we do a lot of different kind of work for businesses. Our main services are pay-per-click management,
Okay.
SEO, web design, and reputation management. We do this for any business, or basically small businesses, medium-sized businesses, through any stage of their development life cycle.
Okay. Awesome. So these days, everybody's, looking at trying to understand marketing, looking at trying to understand, pay-per-clicks and SEO. And I think that it's really helpful to, be able to align yourself with a company, especially if your business has been around for a while. Align yourself with a company that understands your growth and understands your goals and can create goals for you. So tell us a little bit about what are your capabilities and what are your roles within your business? I know that you don't do everything yourself, but there's no way that's possible. But how do you, what is your role with your business?
I oversee the day-to-day operations, and I'm very involved in the oversight of the business, and I do actually serve as the account manager for all of our customers.
Okay.
In addition, our customers have my direct cell phone number and email address, so I'm pretty much accessible 7 days a week, 24/7.
Awesome.
Yeah, so and another thing I like to tell customers is there's nobody in between. If you're the customer, there's no customer service rep right out of college between me and that customer.
Okay.
So there's nothing lost in the communication, and we have a very good feel on what's going on with the accounts.
All right, that's awesome to hear. I like I said, I think that sometimes if you can offer that white glove approach, it just makes people feel much more comfortable with working with you, and they feel more confident. They know that they can get questions asked. They know that you're handling their biggest concerns. You have their best interest in mind. So, Rhett, tell me a little bit about your methodology.
Sure. Regarding web design, for example, we follow a very detailed web design process from the very beginning of the proposal all the way to the launch of the website. Okay. We do a step-by-step, approach with the client being involved. So as we're building the website, the client is constantly involved in the interaction, in the building, and each step signing off, giving us input.
Yep.
So by the time the website is built and launched, the client knows exactly what they're getting, and they tend to be very happy.
Okay. So they're along the whole process. There's checkpoints, there's milestones, and I would imagine it's the same thing with marketing, right? Like there's a plan that you create. I would imagine that there's milestones within the plan. Like maybe depending on the business, maybe they want to reach a certain amount of visitors or revenue or the word I'm looking at, turnover. So using web design as your example. So with SEO, I imagine it's the same thing. Like there's a strategy that you're creating, with them, right? Like talk a little bit about that too.
It is. When I first meet with a customer, we talk about their business goals. Back in my younger days, I did not used to do that. We used to talk directly. Okay, this is what we do. This is how we do it, and we would go to work.
Right.
But these days, it's more. I want to talk to if you're the business owner, for example. I want to talk to you about what you're trying to do, and get that what we call the approach established first. The approach is the direction that we're going to go.
Okay.
We humbly think that we can do SEO and marketing very well, but we do it a whole lot better with the client's input.
See.
And so I want to establish that approach up front, and we do that with each account now.
Fantastic.
And not only is that conversation had, it's also shared with the managers and workers of my company.
Okay.
So as we're doing this, we're constantly revisiting those earlier conversations to measure what we're doing and making sure that we're meeting those clients' expectations.
So that's a really interesting process, because I don't think that a lot of people think about that when they first get started, right? So you have that discovery call where, you kind of get some basic information, get some understanding about where they want to go, and then you get into the work. And like you said, you go back, even as the project is going on, or as your process is going on, you still go back to those early conversations to make sure you hit those touch points and those key things that the customer was looking for.
Yes, and in addition to that, when we're having our monthly call, for example, our monthly performance review call, the client has their, they have their documentation that we send them once a month that shows them all the neat stuff, all the data and all the performance that we're doing for them.
Okay.
But we also talk to them about personally what are they seeing in their business.
Okay.
We tell them what we're seeing. We point out trends to them and things like that. But we also ask the client, what are you seeing?
Okay.
What are you feeling? And then we use that input along with what we know, and we'll make those adjustments during those campaign meetings to carry over into the future. So we're constantly basically building on what we're doing and looking backwards too.
See, that's awesome, because as you know, these days the business landscape for every industry can change, or any industry can change it at any moment, right?
Yep.
From one week to the next week, it could be highs, it could be lows. There could be something new that gets released. Mm-hmm. There could be some new products or new services that people are looking for. And if you're not, as a business owner, if you're not necessarily paying attention to that, or don't know a way to let your customers know, hey, we have this too, or we have this, but we've been doing it better, or we are ready to launch this, and this is a great product, and it does all of these things. And I think a lot of times with businesses, they don't really know the best ways to kind of get that information out there, right? We all heard about press releases, we know about blog posts, and there's rules of those things, and we'll have to have you back so we can talk more about those things in depth, in more depth, because I know there's strategy behind that, right? I know that there's tactics and things that businesses by and large can do, but then for each other business as well, it's some of them are catered, and I'm sure you do catered or maybe more strategic based on the industry, based on their goals and what they should be doing in terms of talking about their products, talking about their services and things like that.
Right. There's a lot of core products that we do for each customer, and then there's some the add-ons kind of tailored to their industry and also tailored to their business needs and marketing goals. So yes, it could be press releases, it could be blog posts at different frequencies. Also, where they are in their business life cycle.
Okay.
How long has their brand been out there?
Right.
That may, if the company is more branded, for example, and they're an older company, we may do more press releases for them rather than a brand new company who's not branded.
That's a really good point. So we have to have you come back, because I want to talk about that. It's a really good one. There's a lot of times where maybe you've been in business for a little while, and you think that your brand is here, and really it's not.
Right.
And then you come to realize, oh my gosh, we need to be doing all of these things to revitalize our brand, or to reintroduce it. That's a strategy by itself too. That's a really good point.
Yeah, for the older businesses, and typically I tell the newer business models, hey, I say, nobody really knows who you are right now. One of our number one goals is to bring people to the site and have them buy from you, whether you're selling products or services. We want to bring them in and get that revenue started. And one of the sayings that I have for new customers is rather than let me offer all of you these services at a huge price, why don't we go ahead and get you on first base, like baseball.
Okay.
Let's hit a run and get on first base, and start driving in runs. We don't have to go for the home run when we first start.
So that's interesting. It leads me into one of my final questions is what can someone expect? A small business owner who's looking to, get into marketing and digital marketing, what's a good baseline budget that they can expect? Even if, you said, maybe it is just to kind of get the bases lined up.
I think if you're a small business, you're probably looking around on $600 to $700 per month to get started, and that would be the very, very basic. And then it can go up from there.
Okay.
We have what's called local SEO, or local clients, who, as you can imagine, have a local business reach. And then we have the other, which is national.
Right.
So we have two different kinds of clients. They're all working to make money, but we either call them local or national.
Right.
And they have a lot of the same services that we do for them, but the local tends to be focused a little bit more on Google My Business optimization and citation building. whereas national has a little bit different strategy. It's not so focused on that.
Okay, that's fantastic. I think that that's helpful because a lot of times, we've kind of seen the ads where it's like, hey, get into, SEO marketing or get into digital marketing. And it's like, thousands and thousands of dollars. And for some small businesses, they don't, they may not have that to get started with, but they want to do something.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily know, that they can get started with something maybe more on a basic level or maybe more on a strategic level for where they are. And then as that starts to mature and as that starts to work, they start to see that, well, okay, this is my return on investment. I can put more money because now I understand what my cost per lead or cost per customer acquisition is.
And we don't use contracts or lock our customers into contracts.
That's
I
awesome.
want to touch on something else. As you were talking, It kind of made me think. I want to tell everybody here a little bit about our background. We started off, like I mentioned, in 2005. I had a big office, about 3,000 square foot. We had 12 employees at the time. And we ended up rebuilding our company in the late 2000s to where I'm a completely 100% virtual company with contractors.
See?
So what's important about what I'm saying is the performance is still there for what we can do for companies. It's actually way beyond what it was back then, but the costs are so much less. We don't have to pass on that big office and all those computers and the insurance and all those costs don't get passed on to our clients.
Right.
So from a value standpoint, we offer a tremendous value to customers.
That's fantastic.
It's all about what you offer. It's not about, what you have and your expenses. It's all about what you can do.
Yeah, that's interesting to hear because I think if you think about what it used to be, the landscape, even if, let's say 3 years ago, you had to have the office with the big awning and, a whole entryway and all of this stuff to kind of razzle and dazzle.
The water fountain.
Exactly.
Security guard.
Exactly. You
Yeah,
had to have all that stuff just to kind of wow the customer when they're first walking in, when really, that's not what it means at all, because you can get all of that, but really what's happening behind the scenes. What do you really know about or how are you willing to get to know the customer and really nurture that relationship?
Yes.
So that way you can see growth and you can see positive return on their investment. Yeah. So that's awesome, man. Listen, this was fantastic. I'm glad that you were able to stop by and kind of have this conversation. We definitely have to have you come back again. But before you go, where can everybody find you? How can they get some more information? I know that you also have some free stuff for people to be able to consume on your website, but how can people get in touch with you?
Please visit us at PalmettoSoft.com. Palmetto like the tree, soft like software, PalmettoSoft.com. We also have a toll-free number at the top of the website, which, by the way, rings directly to my cell phone. Okay? You can contact us there. We also have some great blog posts on our web design process, on our search engine optimization process from start to finish. So it tells you guys exactly how we do things. And this has been done over the years, so there's a lot of great information in there.
Awesome.
And please contact us. We'd love to talk to you.
Fantastic, man. This was great. Listen, like I said, thanks for stopping by. We'll do this again soon.
Thanks for having me, Gene.
All right, man. Awesome.